On the move! Another edition of Once Again on the Move. We click in, we shove it in reverse, and we drive backward. Oh, delicious performative thoughts. Thinking about Milt Kahl for a minute here, because my favorite animated performance ever, is Milt Kahl's Madame Medusa in the, what is it, The Rescuers? I think it's The Rescuers. Which is a diabolical film, let's face it, about, kidnapping and torturing kids. But Madame Medusa, politics aside, is a powerfully layered and intensely entertaining character. And when I saw that, I thought to myself, I want to see more animation like this. Tour de force voice talent, beautiful character design, and some of the finest character animation ever done, bar none. Madame Medusa is everything you want. Everything you want. Fantastic silhouettes, great, strong poses, playful, nuanced behaviors, just little flourishes throughout. She is the apex in my mind. And 2D animation is just, it's king. Come on, let's face it. They achieved every milestone before anybody, before stop motion, before they came up with the look and feel of how animation is today, with its squashing and stretching and blurring and foreshortening, and its graphic meeting solidity. It's so sumptuous. And when you look at the performance of Madame Medusa, it's how you want theater to behave. There's a loose improvisational quality. There's a lyrical, and there's a looseness to the drawing. It's when Disney was starting to kind of let go of line quality a little bit more. It was still, the construction was all there. It hadn't just fallen off the deep end as far as being just this graphic representation of a figure. No, it was a solid figure. But it was done with such a high level of artistry and confidence that you saw the gesture became more important than the drawing. Staying on model was less important than allowing that model to express to its fullest something psychological. A look of just a glance, or a kick of the heels. But every scene that Madame Medusa's in my mind, is like tour de force. When she's hugging the alligators, when she's like coming in, and I think it's her first scene where she comes in and sits on that little office chair and is on the phone talking to Snoops. And when she lowers the little girl down into the well, the hole in the earth, underground. It's all allegory, alligators. There's something to be said for Milt Kahl's career. You know, where that film landed on the timeline of his career. I think he was in his sort of middle to late years by the time, I think he was in his late 50s when that movie hit. So he was in his prime. And he had a bag of tricks. I mean, he did that head wobble. His characters are just so fantastic. There's a lyrical kind of dance-like quality to all his characters. There's a bounce. There's such an interesting construction. He loves those chiseled, squared-off knuckles and just beautiful hands. You can tell right away a Milt Kahl character design. But you can he loved those big oversized mustaches and that hide the mouth, whether it's like the whiskers of a cat or a wizard's beard or some sort of furry animal. And yeah, I think he was head and shoulders above any of those animators. Sorry. I mean, they're all fucking great. You know, the 9 old men. I also love it felt like he had kind of a rivalry with Mark. Blanking on his name. So, the guy that designed not Madame Medusa, but Cruella de Vil. Davis, thank you. Good Lord. It's hot. My brain ain't working. But Mark Davis's stuff is so sensitive too, and but loose and spiny and gristly and luscious, and I felt like he kind of took the torch down the dark hallway first, and then Milt Kahl said, "Here, give me that thing," and he walked all the way to the end of the aisle with it. It's something that I strive for, and when I saw Madame Tootly Pootly, I said, okay, here's this combination of looseness, confidence, and elegance. Let's not get hung up on surface detail. Let's make it look like a paper mache. When you really look at Madame Tootly Pootly's face, you're not thinking, oh my God, it's flawless. No, it looks like a handmade object. And it doesn't move. The face doesn't move. You don't need to print out 3,000 fucking faces that fit on like little face masks. It's not the face that's expressing people. It's the body. It's the line of action. It's the suggestion of an expression. And people don't get this. She's got a little pursed lips, kind of tiny little bow mouth that's closed in this sort of neutral expression. But with those big, beautiful live action eyes, she's able to express fear, anxiety, timidness, apprehension. They're all kind of in that fear vein. It's crazy. Curiosity. But it doesn't have to be 1,000 fucking goddamn faces. It doesn't have to be this Lubra smooth, translucent, silicone bullshit. Sorry. Just doesn't. And my wife does silicone. She's a great silicone painter. I don't take anything away from the artistry of gorgeous, well-made silicone puppets. It is not easy. The molds have to be right, the armatures have to be right, the way it's cast, the way it's seamed, the way it's painted is a marvel. But the look, it doesn't play to the strengths of stop motion. I want to see something handmade, God damn it, because we're making objects that then are put on a set and lit and photographed frame at a time. They're not CG models. They're hand sculpted objects. But nowadays, it's all ZBrush. It's all 3D printed. It's all, it's a dying art, sculpture. It really is. I wonder if mold making is a dying art too. I think a lot of people are printing out their molds. So I don't know when, printed replacement faces and silicone bodies became the industry standard, but once it was that, there was no going back. It's just levels of that shit. The underpaint. I remember seeing the underpainting in like Paranorman or Box Trolls, or it's just like, I think it was Paranorman. There was veins, like three coats of paint down. There's translucency to everything. There's like this underpainting. There's colors underneath colors. It can be a hammered piece of dog shit. It can be a gestural object that is covered in fingerprints. It can be loose. And I think that's what Milt Kahl was daring us to do, was elevate our game, not by technical prowess, but by expressiveness. It's almost like every creative choice should be given a value. How expressive is it? And how smooth and perfect should be bottom of the fucking list. Sorry. That's the domain of CG. The reason why Pixar made a movie about bugs or ants and then a movie about toys is because, and then a movie about fish, is think about those textures. Think about a toy. It's plastic, right? That's what it was rendering. It didn't do Monsters, Inc. until it had mastered hair. And that was a fucking few movies in. First it was doing bugs and fish and toys. Things that look like smooth plastic. That's what a CG model could render really well.
Hi, this is Jack. I got your number. Well, it was posted on a bulletin board in the coffee house near my house, and I don't know if I dialed it just right. But you said independent filmmaker looking to collaborate with other artists. I have a project. I'm just going to go right out and say it. I work with hair, and what I want to do is I want to march a bunch of small, dead, but sort of waxed together, I don't know how you do it, insects into a person's hair. So we'd have a live actor on set and do something very special to music with little creatures in the hair. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm curious if you have a camera and lights and maybe know somebody with really long hair. And because I have hair know-how and I have so many hair products. And like you, I'm an artist that really wants to collaborate with local artists. And I mean, it appears we're both into the same coffee, which is a great start, I think. This week's a little hard. I've just been so moody with the weather. I don't know. You can try to call me. I might pick up. I don't know. I'll be around, though, so it's on you, okay? But I want to make an effort too, so let's talk. Okay. That's 517-212-2938.